Okay, let's talk about it. Going through a divorce is, well, it's tough. And one of the biggest, most stressful financial pieces is figuring out the value of your home. It's usually your most valuable asset, and getting that valuation right, it is absolutely critical for your future. And that's exactly what we're going to help you do today.
I mean, this is the question, right? This is the one that can keep you up at night. The value of your home isn't just some number on a piece of paper. It's a high-stakes moment where thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars are on the line. An unfair appraisal can literally change your financial future.
So how do you protect yourself from that? How do you make sure it's fair? Well, you get prepared. Think of this as your personal toolkit. We're going to arm you with the exact questions you need to ask to make sure that the whole appraisal process is fair, it's thorough, and most importantly, it's reliable.
All right, let's dive right in. Before we even think about the value of your home, we have to talk about the person who is deciding that value. So, your very first step, your first check, is to make sure the appraiser has the right qualifications for this very, very specific job.
You know, a really common mistake is thinking, oh, any real estate appraiser can do this. But that's not true. A divorce appraisal has to be able to stand up to legal scrutiny, and that means you need someone with these specific qualifications you see here. Things like professional designations and, this is crucial, real-world experience in court, mediation, or arbitration.
So, what's a good number to look for? Well, a good benchmark is 10 or more. You should ask them point blank, how many divorce appraisals have you actually completed in the last year? See, an appraiser who's handled more than 10 recently, they're going to be up to date on all the unique challenges and legal standards that your case requires.
Okay, so once you've confirmed they have the right experience, the next big check is all about neutrality and their method. It's not just who does the appraisal, but how they do it. This part is all about making sure the process itself is fair and unbiased.
You have to ask this question. You just have to. It's so simple, but it can uncover a potential conflict of interest right from the very beginning. An appraiser's #1 loyalty has to be to an impartial valuation, not to some pre-existing relationship.
Now, it's really important to understand the two ways this can go. On one side, you have a jointly retained appraiser who acts as a neutral third party for both of you, and by the way, courts really prefer this. On the other side, you can each hire your own, but that can lead to a battle of the experts with two totally different values. The key here is just to know exactly which role your appraiser is supposed to be playing.
You're going to hear this term a lot, fair market value. It's the legal standard, but don't let it intimidate you. All it really means is, what would a typical buyer who isn't being forced to buy pay for this house on the open market today? It's not a fire sale price, and it's not a fantasy price. It's that realistic, defensible number in the middle.
Okay, but what happens if you do everything right, you get the report, and the number just feels wrong? This is a huge source of anxiety, I know. But the good news is you are not powerless here. There are clear, established steps you can take.
Here's your game plan if you disagree. First, you go back to the original appraiser with any new information you have, and you request a reconsideration. If that doesn't resolve it, step 2 is to suggest getting a second appraisal, a fresh set of eyes. And if all else fails, the court can step in and appoint its own neutral appraiser to settle it. The bottom line is, you have options.
All right, we've covered the qualifications and the methodology. Let's wrap up with the practical, nitty-gritty details. The process, the paperwork, and yep, the price.
So the appraisal process pretty much always follows these 4 steps. It kicks off with you providing all the necessary documents, then there's a physical inspection of the property, then the appraiser does their market analysis, and it all ends with that final written report. But notice where it starts. It starts with you. Your preparation is the foundation for everything that follows.
And if you want an accurate report, you have to give them accurate information. The more you can provide, especially things like receipts and permits for any improvements you've made, the stronger and more defensible that final valuation is going to be. Seriously, your prep work here is key to their success.
Let's talk money for a second, because nobody likes surprises here. Usually that initial report is just a flat fee, but as you can see, other things like court testimony or responding to subpoenas get billed by the hour. This is why it is absolutely essential to get a detailed fee schedule in writing before you agree to hire them. And one final, super important detail. Don't overlook this. That final report is completely useless if it doesn't meet the specific formatting rules of your local family law court. The appraiser absolutely has to know what those local rules are.
So let's bring this all home. After everything we've talked about, what's the absolute key to protecting your financial future during this process?
Here it is. It really boils down to this simple 3-point checklist. Number 1, verify their credentials and their specific divorce experience. Number 2, confirm they're neutral and that you understand their whole valuation method. And number 3, clarify all the logistics and all the fees right up front.
You see, by asking these questions, you fundamentally change your role in this whole thing. You're no longer just someone sitting on the sidelines waiting for a number to be handed to you. You become an informed advocate for your own future, making sure the process is fair from start to finish. And really, that's what this is all about, isn't it? This isn't just some box you have to check. Always remember, a fair appraisal isn't just a number. It's the foundation for your next chapter.